Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Doctor. It is 4:34 p.m. here in the Pacific Northwest, and again, it is another wonderful sunny day up here. I hope all of my patients are doing good out there, and today we're going to be focusing a little bit on CT basics, and a lot of this information came from the Alchemist Code's CT guide. CT does run the same or similarly in Alchemist Code as it does in War of the Visions. So we're going to go over some basic CT facts, sort of how CT is manipulated in the game, what the equation for that is, and some basic information that will help you make decisions on what buffs you're going to be wanting to use, why time mages are important, and what time mage abilities are important. Now, CT is equal to 1/10 of a unit's agility stat. Passing a turn doesn't take away your entire CT. It only takes away 60 CT. Now, if you take any type of inaction, that's either moving one space, moving 5 spaces, attacking an enemy, casting a spell, it's going to be negative 80 CT. Moving and attacking at the same time, which is what you would normally do, would be negative 100 CT. Now, CT can go over 100, and this does add to the effect of who acts first. Now, we do have the CT equation, so how many CT per cycle is gained, and the equation is basically broken into two different parts. You have the agility side, which takes your base agility plus 100%, and then that 100% is additive with whatever agility modifiers you have. So something that would count as an agility modifier would be, for example, resonance with one of your party members that are near you, or it could be the green mage buff speed up, for example, which gives you agility plus 25%. Then on the other side of the equation, you have a haste or slow modifier, and that would be, of course, whether your character is afflicted with haste or whether your character is afflicted with slow. And going by the Alchemist Code values, haste is a 1.5x modifier, and slow is a 0.5x modifier to whatever your modified agility will be. There is one other important spell in this game that directly affects CT, and that's Quicken. Now, Quicken adds plus 100 CT directly to the character that it's been casted on. And we'll talk a little bit about what you can do with that in a little bit here. So let's talk about what this equation tells us and what we know about the information we've learned so far. Let's assume we have two characters. Adelard, because he's amazing, and he has 60 agility. And then Baelo, maybe because he's a little bit bigger, he only has 30 agility. So what do we know if we know those two agility stats about these characters? So we know that Adelard would act twice as often as Baelo. If Adelard had haste, so that's a 1.5x modifier, he would attack 3 times as often as Baelo because his equivalent agility would be 90. If Adelard had slow, which is a 0.5x modifier, he would attack the same as Baelo, right? Because a 0.5x modifier would take him down 30 agility and put him to 30. If Baelo had haste, he gains the equivalent of plus 15 agility. And so you can see now that haste and slow affect units differently based off of what their agility stat is. So if you have a very fast character, that character is going to benefit much more from haste or be slowed much more from slow based off of what their agility is. So in this situation, Adelard is getting much more faster when he's had haste casted on him, or much more slower when he's had slow cast on him. Now, on the other side of the equation, we have speed up, for example. So let's say we have a green mage in our party casting speed up. That's a flat agility plus 25%. Adelard would continue to benefit more because he has more base agility and it's a percentage modifier. So what we have is 2 percentage modifiers, essentially, that affect the character's CT count. So all speed up and haste commands benefit already fast characters, and haste and slow are always going to be better than the green mage equivalent of plus speed up, because the plus speed up usually caps at about 25% and isn't going to have as much of an impact, because if you think about it, that's a 1.25% increase, whereas haste or slow is a 150% modifier or a 50% modifier. So the modifiers on haste or slow are always going to be significantly better than any percent agility added. Now, why we have to know that side of the equation, though, is because we have to factor in other things like resonance. We have to factor in other things like speed up, because maybe you have a green mage and you don't have a time mage on your team, and speed up's the only ability that you can use. Or maybe there's another ability later down the line that gives a self buff to speed. So that's why it's important for us to know the left side of the equation here. Now, CT does carry over 100, and if 2 units are over 100 CT, the unit with the higher CT acts first. So let's look at a situation here. Let's say we have Sir O, he has CT 80. Let's say we have Stern, he has CT 55. And we have Moraga at CT 90, who gets plus 11 CT per turn. And his turn is currently next after the caster that's casting Quick. So let's say that we casted Quick on Stern. Stern would have an equivalent of 155 CT, which means he would act before Moraga. So Stern makes his move, he attacks, he's down to 55 CT, so he has to wait for his next attack. Now let's look at Sir O. Sir O is at 80 CT. So if we cast Quick on Sir O, he's going to have 180 CT. Well, we know that if he doesn't take an action, that's minus 60 CT. If he takes one action, that's 80. And if he moves and attacks, that's 100. So if he's positioned already next to the enemy, he could, say, attack, and then Moraga would get his turn next. Or he could move an attack, which maybe he wants a better angle, and Moraga would still get his turn the next turn. Because no matter what, on the next turn, Moraga's going to have 101 CT, and then Sir O, even if he just attacks, is going to have 80 CT. Or sorry, 100 CT. So Moraga will be above him and taking his turn. So what you might want to do in this situation is attack with Sir O, and then move him. And move him out of range or into a safe area away from Moraga's reach. If Moraga had maybe a little bit less CT, let's say he had 80 CT when Quick was cast on Sir O, you would actually be able to take 2 actions in a row on Moraga and then move away to a safe distance. So this is just kind of one of the ways that Quick can be utilized in terms of setting up maybe your strongest character to attack multiple times in a row to take out someone who might be weak or someone that you might be struggling with. Now, let's talk about War of the Vision specific CT modifiers, because a lot of this information does come from Alchemist code, and while a lot of the information from Alchemist code does carry over, there is some information that comes specifically from War of the Visions that we have to factor in here. And one of those things that we have to factor in is going to be resonance. So you get plus 10 agility from resonance of your units around your unit that you're moving. Now, there does appear to be diminishing returns. When I was testing it, I didn't get over more than plus 17.5% agility when I had 3 units surrounding my main unit. So that leads me to believe that there's some type of diminishing return around a unit when he has multiple units of resonant around them. So keeping that in mind, you probably just want to keep your unit or all of your units within 2 tiles of each other, unless there's an AoE element factor here. But essentially, you want to make sure they're within those 2 tiles so they gain that plus 10% agility. Especially at the start of the battle, it just makes sense. Where this is really relevant and where I think about players who are focusing on PvP a lot is I think that if you consider that on some maps in PvP, your characters are spaced just enough between each other to get the resonance bonus from the characters across from each other, but a lot of the times you only use your PvP team in PvP. So you might not have capped resonance with those characters in your PvP team, so you're going to want to cap your resonance with those characters. Now, something else that I've kind of found and learned, and I think a lot of people don't understand yet, is resonance with espers as well. Each tier of Esper resonance adds 10% of your Esper stats to your main character. So having capped resonance adds 100% of your Esper stat to your character, and this is a fast way to maximize agility and really ensure that your turn speed is going to be accelerated and that you're going to be able to take your actions in the fastest way possible. Not only that, your characters are going to be beefier and your characters are going to be stronger. Now, there's not very many cards that affect agility, and in terms of looking at what's the best way to make your characters faster, I did find the Will of Beowulf card. Holy shit. Excuse me. And that's not out yet, I believe, or at least I haven't seen it. I believe it's probably coming out with the Final Fantasy Tactics release, but it does have the party ability agility plus 15% when maxed out. I think making sure your team always has a comp with this set, especially in PvP, so that you're making sure your characters are acting first to take out the opponent, is going to be critical. So in the future, when you're planning your strategies, when you're planning kind of the layouts of your team, you're going to want to keep this in mind. It also has a really nice slash attack plus 10 effect on it, which is perfect. Now, there is a couple other CT conversations we have to have, particularly around casting speed, that are unique specifically to War of the Visions, and I've been doing some experimentation with that. We've been talking about cast time reduction, but I feel like it might be a little bit much to put in a single video along with CT. So for now, we're going to leave this video just at talking about CT and the specific actions and stats that modify that, and look forward to another video soon about CT casting. And with that, we're at the end of our video, you guys. I hope you all found this at least a little bit useful. I know it was a little bit overwhelming when I was looking at it, when I was testing party resonance, when I was trying to figure out just how exactly agility worked and how much of a relevant stat it was, especially when I was trying to figure out how armor's agility minus would affect my characters. It was really kind of mind-blowing. And one of the things I just want to link to all of you guys, and it'll be in my description, is going to be the guide that was translated by Vicarious EXP, and it's from the Reddit on Alchemist Code, and it has all of the information you need specifically focused around CT in Alchemist Code. And it can be a little dense and it can be a little difficult to read, but if you want like really specific knowledge on how the CT system works, I would really open it up and take a look, because it has a lot of really critical information in there. And it also has an agility table, which I'll also link to it. The agility table basically breaks down how your agility is going to round up or down depending on the agility stat that you have for the CT. So it will tell you exactly how much CT you're going to gain per agility stat on your character, because there may be times where you have like 30 and 31 agility and both of those round to a CT stat that's the same, and you need to hit 32 in order for it to be better. So you may want to take a look at that and just make an assessment of what your build is, and you know, maybe you're one agility point away from breaking into a tier that's faster. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. Again, I love the support I've been getting from all of you guys. It's been really awesome to see all of your comments and likes. Please be sure to drop some in the comment section below. I'm going to try my hardest to respond to all of them. Please join my Twitch, throw a follow. I'll be streaming a lot. I usually stream later in the evenings right now, but it's, you know, if y'all want me in the mornings, I'll be here in the mornings. So y'all have a good rest of your day, and look forward to some more videos. Bye-bye.